All right, guys, we are on the water today with a live fishing report here from Chickamauga. You guys that are subscribed to our newsletter know we usually do a little write-up in every newsletter about a fishing report, but on the water today, so I figured we'd sit down and film a fishing report, tell you guys a little bit about what's going on in the lake. As you can see behind me, the lake is almost all the way down to winter pool. It still lacks about a foot to drop, so the water is going to continue to fall throughout the next few weeks. Middle of November is usually when the water is all the way down, so we have a few more weeks of that kind of in the middle falling water stuff. Chickamauga is notoriously challenging on falling water. It's always moving fish around, and it's kind of proved true today. It's been a little tough, but we've been able to get a few bites. We've caught a few 3-4 pounders, which is pretty solid. Water temp is hanging around the mid to low 60s. I think the coldest I saw today was 61. We've had some cooler nights, which is, impacted that. The water temperature is going to continue to drop too. We actually have some really cold weather coming up here. Plan on that. Planning for, some kind of tough conditions if you're coming to Chickamauga with the falling water and the water temperature dropping. That's kind of what you're going to expect. The fish have been really bait related, even more so than a few weeks ago. I haven't been on the water in about 2 weeks, and I noticed that immediately when I put the boat in the water and got to my first spot. I'm like, a lot of these fish are really related to bait, suspended over creek channels and stuff like that. Points, a lot of fish have been on points, just natural areas that they're going to ambush bait and push bait up on. To target your bigger fish, I would say, if that's something that you're wanting to do, your structure related stuff seems to be the better way to catch a big fish. Your brush piles and your stumps, that seems to hold a bigger fish, especially in these changing conditions. It seems like big fish like to hold on to something. The fish on Chickamauga are very structure related in general, so that's going to be the way to generate a little bit bigger bite. As far as getting bites, that's bait related. There's a lot of fish in wolf packs and stuff chasing bait around those areas, like I just said before, your creek channels, your channel swings, points, and things like that. That seems to be where the bulk of the fish are. As far as baits go, we caught it several today on a jerkbait. It's the best day I've had on a jerkbait all year, actually, today. This is just a Megabass Vision 110. This is just the standard size. A lot of the fish were higher in the water column, so that's why I didn't go with a +1 today. Any shad, real natural color didn't really seem to matter. I'm with the buddy today, and he was catching them on another color than me, so something natural is going to be what you're going to want to go with. Obviously, we're imitating shad, so reach for something like that. Topwater has also got a few bites today. Any sort of walking bait is a go-to, especially when the fish start actually chasing bait really hard. We've seen them come up schooling several times today. So any sort of walking bait that you can cast far and get on those fish as soon as they come up is important. So that's why I use this little bit bigger size. That's a Yozuri pencil, but any Zara spook or something like that is going to be a good one. And then for just picking off fish and throwing at those individual groups of fish that you see in between bait balls, and seen some singles today as well. They haven't all been in groups. Just a jig head and a minnow. This is actually a new 6 cents product, a new Shindo shad. But just your standard minnow bait with a jig head. There's a million different variations out there. Those 3 things have been the most reliable today, and previously. That's been the go-to. You can start throwing an Alabama rig. I know several guys are catching fish on an Alabama rig and a spinner bait. Those are 2 really good baits notoriously in the fall here on Chickamauga. So tying one of those on wouldn't be a bad idea either. But if you guys have any more questions, feel free to swing by the shop and chat with us. I know there's some guys coming in town this week for some tournaments, some bigger team championships, so we'd love to talk with you guys. Feel free to follow our social media platforms too. We're trying to pump out content for you guys and keep a steady flow, so you guys stay up to date with new products and different ways of rigging techniques and things like that to keep you guys informed. So thank you guys for tuning into our fishing report again for the first week in November, and we appreciate you guys following us along.